this is Warhawk Beyond 2040, and welcome to another edition of the Justice League review series. And today I am here once again to provide an audio commentary watch along for another favourite Justice League episode of mine. This time it's The Enemy Below. So, The Enemy Below is an important episode to me for many reasons. This was the episode that cemented Aquaman as one of my favourite DC heroes. And the first time that I saw this episode, The Enemy Below, was from a DVD compilation that I bought called Justice on Trial. And it had 4 episodes in Blackest Night and The Enemy Below. Both episodes were both two-parters. And when I was growing up and getting into comic books, one of the first DC characters that I saw was Aquaman. And he had a very cool look from a visual point of view. Here was a guy, he had long hair, a great big humongous beard, a hook for a hand, and he looked more like an underwater serpent king. And to me, I just thought, wow, to actually have a king in the DC universe to me was amazing. Because for the most part, most of the DC heroes lived fairly normal lives. Superman was Clark Kent working as a reporter for the Daily Planet. You had John Stewart, who was the Green Lantern. He was an ex-soldier. And you had the Flash, who by day, depending on what continuity you read, whether he was Barry Allen or Wally West, he was a police scientist working at police headquarters in the forensic lab. And you had Batman, who by day was Bruce Wayne, was a billionaire playboy and head of Wayne Enterprises. But with Aquaman, he didn't have a normal life. He was a king. He lived underwater. And when you have a character like that who isn't necessarily what you would call a traditional person, it opens up for lots of different scenarios, especially when you have someone who is essentially king of the water. And we all know this. Aquaman, for most of his existence, has always been the butt of jokes. You know, the whole concept of talking to fish. Family Guy buried him relentlessly for years. So, Aquaman was never one of the public's favourites, so to speak. He wasn't up there with the Batmans and the Supermans and the Wonder Womans of the world. He never really got much respect. Even Green Lantern and the Flash, they got more favour with the public compared to Aquaman. But this episode, The Enemy Below, did an amazing job with the way Aquaman was written, and he really came across as a real badass and not someone you really wanted to cross. He was not really what you'd call a nice guy. And I thought they did a really good job. I thought rather than give us the silly Aquaman, they gave us a much more different Aquaman. Now, officially, in canon, this was Aquaman's second appearance in the DCAU. Prior to the Justice League series, he had appeared in an episode from Superman the Animated Series called A Fish Story. And he did look like the traditional classic Aquaman, short blonde hair, orange shirt, and dark green pants. But he wasn't what you would call a nice guy, and he didn't look like a friendly guy either. So they kind of continued that trend by bringing him back in the Justice League series, but they just completely changed his whole look. And it's been a while since I've watched this episode. The last time I watched this episode was when I did a whole rewatch of the entire series back in 2020. But I do remember that this episode was very good. I thought this was a very good, strong episode. And I thought the way they came up with the reason for Aquaman losing his hand and having a hook instead was quite intriguing, because I read somewhere that he lost his hand after a group of piranhas chewed his hand up, which to me sounded ridiculous, because if you've got someone who can command an entire ocean, surely would have said to the piranhas, "Don't eat my hand," or something like that. But I thought the idea that they came up with for Aquaman losing his hand was quite cool. I thought it made more sense and it's more believable. But I quite like this episode. It's been a long time since I've seen this, but I really enjoyed this one a lot. So, with that all said, let's not waste any more time. Let's get straight into it. Let's talk about The Enemy Below, Part 1 and 2. So, here goes. Do, 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 do. So, we start off this episode, which is part 1 of The Enemy Below. We see a thunderstorm in the middle of what appears to be the Atlantic Ocean, and we see a submarine called the USS Defiant, and we see that the submarine is being attacked or targeted by something or someone, but we don't know yet. It's a very military way to start this episode off, and we see there is another ship behind this submarine which attacks them, and this is quite a very ominous and dark way to start off this episode. And we see this ship floods out the submarine. It's quite dark, you know, for the Justice League series. And there is the ship that attacked them. We see someone is watching them, and there he is, Aquaman himself. Ooh, what a badass look. Oh boy. And here comes one of the greatest intros ever. I do love this. It's a great, great way to start this episode. I do love the Justice League intro. It's something so grand and majestic about the way this episode starts. Do 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 do. Love the CGI. It's just still holds up very well. You know, after all these years, this show still looks very fresh. It hasn't aged, hasn't dated. Still looks like it was made now. Bear in mind this was made back in 2001, so we're coming up to nearly what 24 years already. Wow, it still looks good. I do love that. So here we go. The Enemy Below, Part 1. And here comes the javelin, which signifies the arrival of the Justice League. And there's John Stewart, Wonder Woman, and Superman. So here we go. Business has officially started, or as we say, business has officially picked up. So we see the javelin is getting attacked by Aquaman's ship. It's weird seeing this because for those of you who have probably read the older comics, you're so used to seeing Aquaman and the Justice League working together and all best of friends. To see them all on opposing sides, it's just kind of weird. Right, why does Superman need a oxygen mask to breathe underwater? He's Kryptonian. Yeah, I never understood why they toned down his powers. But this is a cool opening, seeing the Justice League taking on the Atlanteans. Very good opener. Oh, here we go. All right. Nice. Wow. The combined strength of Superman and Wonder Woman would insinuate an entire planet. It's quite cool how they did that using their combined strength. So the ship has been destroyed, and the Atlanteans, led by Aquaman. Yeah, he's definitely not a friendly guy. Now, there's one little issue I have. It's not a big deal, but it's more of a continuity issue. Why is Superman acting like he's never met this guy before? Surely he could have introduced himself and say, Aquaman, it's me, Superman. We met before. Remember I helped you against Luthor? Something like that. Yeah, I know it's all supposed to be connected, but you would have thought they would have mentioned that Superman and Aquaman have met before. But oh well. It's not a big deal, but I just thought they could have mentioned that. So we see Superman and the others have rescued all the crew from the ship that was sunk thanks to Aquaman and his army. Yeah, this is definitely not the Aquaman from Super Friends. No smiley, blonde hair, pretty boy here. This is an Aquaman who means business. So Superman is pleading his case with Aquaman. Oh boy. Oh, that is an awesome look. I love it. And here is Atlantis. I have to say that the visual artwork for Atlantis is absolutely incredible. Just looks amazing. And there is Mira, wife of Aquaman. And we won't talk about who played Mira in the DCEU, but this is a different Mira to the one we know in the film. I have to say, though, it does look like her a little bit, like the one from the movies. Yeah. So there's Orm. So he's like Aquaman's brother. There's Aquaman's son. And for those who know, he grows up to be Aqualad. Surprised they didn't have Aqua Girl as well. Maybe that was sometime after she was born. But I've always looked at The Enemy Below. Yes, it's a Justice League episode in name, and it's part of the Justice League series. I've always looked at this more as Aquaman's episode because we get to spend more time with Aquaman. We get to see what his life is like under the sea. We get to see what his motivations are. And his motivations are, of course, protect the kingdom and his family, no matter what. So, kind of adds something to him. He's not just some grumpy underwater king. He's got a purpose. He's got a reason for the way he acts, the way he does. So adds a bit to him, fleshes him out a little bit. And there's the submarine that we saw earlier. So we see John Stewart is investigating. He's trying to find out what's really going on. Okay. I like how everyone looks like a warrior instead of just wearing fish suits. So I'm glad they came up with some good designs for the Atlanteans. There we go. Jon Stewart is doing a bit of investigating. So Jon Stewart suspects that all is not what it seems. And oh my god, imagine this: you're going on the beach and you see this big guy with long hair and a big beard wearing a cape. Yeah, would freak you out a little bit. He's like casually walking across the street. Yeah, don't mind me. I'm an underwater king, just going out about on my business. Hey, do you mind? Move. Wow. Oh yeah, please excuse me, sir. I was like, get out of my way. You know who you're talking to here? I am king of the sea. So Jon Stewart tells the Justice League that all is not what it seems. Snap a car. Snap, 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 snap. So we see Aquaman has arrived at the peace treaty, demanding that they stop harming the ocean. So this is pretty much similar to what a fish story episode was like, but this time Aquaman has actually gone to the world leaders and is trying to more or less intimidate them, so to speak. Look how defiant he just stands here, arms crossed and all. Cool. Oh yeah. Aquaman, stop. Look at this, here we go. This is how the public reacts. Give them time. I don't have time. Out of my way, woman. Ah, what a gentleman. Yeah, Aquaman's really going to conduct interviews. I have no time for your interviews. And we see here Aquaman is almost killed by mystery assailants. And we do learn later on who that mystery man really is. So Aquaman is taken out of the game, so to speak. Wow. Here we go. So clearly someone was paid to murder or attempt to murder Aquaman. The question is, who would do such a thing? That is the big question. Who paid off this assailant to take out Aquaman? We do find out who did that in this episode. So, with Aquaman out of the way, this paves the way for Aquaman's brother, Orm, to essentially run the kingdom, so to speak. Yeah, I wouldn't be too sure if you can trust that guy. It's kind of funny that they're all trying to operate on Aquaman, and human technology just doesn't work on an Atlantean's skin. But there's a twist to this coming, trust me, because people are forgetting that Aquaman isn't human. We've tried everything we can, but nothing's working. Is there any way you can help him? Then perhaps I can help. Yeah. Was Batman waiting in the shadows that whole time for his entrance? Probably. And Aquaman is revived in a tank of salt water. Because let's face it, don't hurt me, okay? He is literally a fish out of water, so salt water is the way to keep a fish alive. See? But how could you make such a guess like that? He's a fish out of water. Salt water. See? Batman knows. He's the world's greatest detective for a reason. He's the Dark Knight. Good. Now we can get some answers. Why did you try to take the plutonium? I know nothing about some plutonium. I have to say, Jon Stewart's no small guy, but Aquaman's just a powerhouse. you know, don't mess with the King of Atlantis, John. Wait, you're going to have to trust me. See? When Batman speaks, you listen. So obviously they're going to try and trap this assailant who tried to take out Aquaman. So here we go. See, I would have thought it'd been cool to have John Jones in this one. There he is, our mystery assassin. Off he goes. And it turns out to be Deadshot. Now, Deadshot in the Justice League, Deadshot is a Batman villain, but he never appeared in Batman the Animated Series or the new Batman Adventures. He only appeared in the Justice League, who was voiced superbly by Michael Rosenbaum, who also voiced the Flash, and is, in my eyes, the greatest live action depiction of Lex Luthor. Oh my god. This gag's getting very old now. Every episode, Superman gets electrocuted. Every episode. Just. Oh, we do have John Jones. Okay. I was just saying that we should have had John Jones in this episode, but I just realised he is in this episode. As I said, it's been a while since I've watched this. So they're now going after Deadshot, and this is quite cool. He's heading your way. Yeah, this is quite a cool sequence here. Hiya! Oh boy. Yes, it's a good sequence. As I said, it's been a while since I watched this one. It's not really one I go back to often, but yeah, I kind of like this one. Hold it right there. Yeah, like that's really going to work. See, this is my Deadshot, a guy who doesn't talk much, a silent assassin. Nothing against Will Smith, he did a tremendous job, but yeah, his Deadshot was a bit of a chatterbox. My Deadshot doesn't talk. You know, he is a man of few words. And Aquaman just slugged out my boy, Jon Stewart. How dare you! There's Batman. Obviously got the trap laid out for Deadshots. Oh, sweet. Nice. Yep, Deadshot got taken out of the game there. It's over, Floyd. Wow, I did the whole disappearing thing, but he just did it for me. What the hell is this? We see Deadshot's in his van as he attempts to escape. There we go. Go on, Superman. What are you waiting for? Go after him. Go for it. That's what I would have done too. I would have used my heat vision, burst his tires. It's over, Deadshot. Who paid you to try and take out Aquaman? You think I tell you? But hey, if you make it worth my while. Oh, come on, babe. I can't tell you that. But if you make it worth my while, I might. I'll handle this. Oh boy. I remember this. You can't scare me, Batman. Let me give you one bit of advice. I'd love to know what he said. Okay, okay. I'll talk, I'll talk. What do you say to him? You don't want to know. I do. So, who hired you? So, this is essentially Deadshot getting interrogated by the whole Justice League. And judging by the treasure, it was someone from Atlantis. But who would want to take out Aquaman? That's the big question. And why? Well, His Royal Highness just left. Oh boy. I think it's kind of obvious now who tried to take out Aquaman. His own brother. So he wants to take over the kingdom for himself as ruler. And Aquaman isn't too pleased about that. Nor would I be either. Oh boy. Aquaman's going to knock his brother out. I mean it, Orm. Guards, stand down. Uh-oh. Someone's been double-crossed. Yikes. So, it was all Orm. Orm paid Deadshot to have Aquaman taken out. And that ends part one. Good, strong part. Very enjoyable. You know, Aquaman being portrayed as not exactly a heroic figure. Deadshot's appearance, Batman's surprise appearance. Good stuff here. Very, very good stuff here. So, with that all said, let's move on to The Enemy Below, Part 2. So, here we go. So, Part 2 picks up where we left off from the end of Part 1, and we see that Orm was the one who attempted to have Aquaman taken out by Deadshot, and we see that Orm wants to have Aquaman removed from the kingdom and he replaces him on the throne. Very devious, underhanded little brother is Orm. So he was the brains behind Aquaman nearly getting killed. Probably the last person you'd expect Orm to pay someone like Deadshot. You would have thought maybe someone a bit bigger, perhaps, but I suppose Deadshot does make sense in a way because he is a hitman for hire, and it makes sense, I guess. Oh no. Who took the boy? Where is the boy? Where is the small boy? So Orm has kidnapped Mira and Aquaman's son. Poor small boy. Poor little boy. Oh dear. So here is the Justice League in the Javelin trying to find out what exactly is going on here. And there's the Atlantean ship. Oh, wait a minute. Not so fast. Oh. Oh boy. This is not going to end well. Here we go. Good. Slug 'em out, Superman. That's a cool power. Just go right through you. Pretty neat power, I would say. I wish Flash was in this episode, just so that he could make a joke about Aquaman talking to fish. I would have had Wally say something about So, is the story true? You can really talk to fish, and Aquaman just punches his lights out or something. I don't know. This episode really needed the Flash. Bit bummed out here. Come on, Superman. Put some muscle in it. There we go. That's it. I get why they had to tone his powers down, but come on, this is Superman. But at least we get to see him use his powers in very unique and creative ways. And they found Atlantis. Oh, watch out. Uh-oh. Too late. Damn. Ugh. There we go. Come on, Superman, you could break out of that. Easily. Easily break out of that. What's wrong? Oh, boy. So Orm's in charge now. Oh, here we go. Oh, come on now. Superman getting electrocuted is getting old now. Seriously. And he's unconscious as well. Come on. Seriously. They just don't like Superman. All these guys could easily break out there. Come on. Let's be real. Especially Wonder Woman and Superman. Flood them out. Clever. Come on, Diana. Hera, give me strength. Come on, guys. Oh, oh dear. This is not good. Your Majesty. Come on, guys. Mira will try and help you out somehow. Oh, drowning. Come on, guys. I guess it's a cartoon, but let's be real here. Oh, thank God for that. Let's drain it out. It's a quick way to do that. Superman could have used his heat vision there easily. Good to see Mira is helping them out here. All right. They could have just busted out of there any time, unless those things they wore on their heads were stopping them from using their powers. Okay, I believe that makes sense. And looks like we've got what appears to be some sort of volcano, and there's Aquaman all chained up. Oh dear. There's Brother Orm. Why would you do this? My own brother. He doesn't realise he's kidnapped his boy. Oh, he does now. No, leave my small boy alone. No, not the boy. Anything but my boy. Here we go. So Mira has helped the Justice League out, and this wouldn't be the last time either, because eventually Aquaman would actually join the team in Justice League Unlimited as a full-time member. But here, at least for this period anyway, Aquaman wants no part of the Justice League as far as their team is concerned, which is fair enough because he's got a family and a kingdom to run. So I can appreciate that. Let's go. Oh dear. He has the boy. Now this is coming up to how Aquaman loses his hand, which, as I said before, in the continuity I read, not sure if that's the definitive continuity, but one of the continuities I read, as I said before, he lost hand because Piranha chewed it up. But I think the one they came up with for the show was much better, much better, and it makes more sense, I would say. Aquaman in this episode, in order to save his son, he, no pun intended, literally sacrificed his hand to save his son. Truly a noble dad. Here we are. Pull, my man, pull! What will it be? Your hand or the boy? Oh, here we go. Oh no. There's only one way to end this. Oh, well, certainly a lot better than the one we got in the comics, that's for sure. So they still haven't found Aquaman yet. He's here. I found and saved our boy, but at a heavy cost. I had to sacrifice my hand, my love, which was the only way. Your hand? I'm sorry. It was the only way. Now where's Orm? Here we go. And here is how Aquaman gets the hook. Funny, the medic who's fixing him up, his look is very similar to what the Court of Owls would have many years later. Interesting. There we go. Wow. Well, it was the only way, I suppose. Hey, there he is. Our Batman is here. Wow, it's quite intense. I think the hook for a hand is quite cool. Just makes him less human than having two hands. But I still like it. It's classic Aquaman because the hook for a hand is what is a big part of his look. So it works. But oh, Superman wants to kick some butt. Not without me, you're not. Nice. I've got a score to settle with my brother. Oh yeah. Here we go. And we are here at the North Pole. And there's Aquaman. Oh, that is wicked. Look at that. Love it. Brilliant. So Aquaman's in no mood for pleasantries. He wants his brother in the worst way. So we kind of see now Aquaman is forced to work with the Justice League because they've got a common enemy. But as I said at the beginning, even though it's a Justice League episode in name, I kind of look at this as more Aquaman's episode, which it works for the story. But it's maybe this could have led to an Aquaman spin-off. I don't know. Probably not, but would have been nice. But it's still cool. There's the Atlanteans fighting the Justice League. Oh, ice caps are melting. Uh-oh. Superman's on it. Lantern's definitely on it. Takes them out. And uses the lasso. You won't be needing that anymore. I like how John Jones saves him and just dumps him. Like, yes, I know I saved you, but I'm dumping you now. Damn. Would have been cool if Aquaman rode the seahorse. Surprised he didn't do that in this episode. Should have done, but yeah. Superman taking out the ship. Oh, come on. Really? Oh, Superman gets up now. Thank God. There we go. Here comes Aquaman. Going to take out his own men. Yeah. Free Willy moment. Does remind me of a Free Willy movie. If you pause it, it's like the cover of the Free Willy movie. There we go. Nice. So there's all leading up to the big fight with Aquaman's brother. There we are. You can see it's all melting, collapsing. Watch out. It's a long way down. And here we are. The machine that's melting the ice. Uh, uh, not so fast. Brother versus brother. Aquaman versus Orm. Here we go. Yikes. Come on, John. Come on, Bats. We gotta take that out now. Come on. Here we go. You know, if Aquaman wanted to, he could have sliced Orm by now. Now there's nothing to stop it. No, there's not. We end this now. Come on, guys. Quickly. It's melting. That don't look good. Come on. Yeah, this is a good fight sequence here. I love the way how, episodes like this, they feel so epic. They're like mini movies. Even though these episodes are like, what, 20 something minutes long, they just pack so much. They just feel like little mini compact movies. It's what I've always loved about the DCAU shows. Each episode feels like a mini movie. All right, so Batman's going to dismantle the machine with Green Lantern's power ring. Nice. Uh-oh. No, what are you doing? Oh, I love it. Take him out. Do it now. Come on, Aquaman. That really hurts. Oh, yeah, he took his hair out. My God. Come on. Come on, Aquaman. Use that right hook. Pun intended. Please, brother. Save me. Will he save him? Or not? No, I will not. No. Wow. I still thought he would have probably have saved his brother and then probably have him banished or something like that. He actually let him fall. So Batman and John have managed to save the Arctic. Good stuff. So Atlantis has been restored. Orm is gone, and all of Aquaman's army are going to be punished. At least I hope they will be. Take them away. Yeah, good stuff. Very good stuff. So Aquaman sacrificed his hand to save his son. He defeats his brother and lets him fall, by the way. So Aquaman is agreeing to make sure that his family is protected and Atlantis is safe. And that wraps up my audio commentary watch along on The Enemy Below, parts 1 and 2. Overall, both parts were excellent. I really enjoyed both of them. I wouldn't like to say which one was better. I think both parts were equally as strong, and I thought both parts did an amazing job in the way that Aquaman was written. And as I said before, Aquaman was not necessarily portrayed as a heroic figure. He was more like a villain. But by the end, you see that he is very much a hero, but he just likes to do things his own way. But good stuff. I really enjoyed this episode a lot. And this, for me, cemented Aquaman as one of my favorite DC heroes of all time. This version of Aquaman is so much better than the one we've been getting for all these years. And now, thanks to the DCEU, Aquaman has finally got the proper respect that he deserves. But I would say that it started really with the DCAU shows, and then by the time we get to the big screen, he finally got the payoff that he deserved, and that was his own movie. And the rest, as they say, is history. But yep, this was a really good two-part episode. Hadn't seen it in a while, but it was still as good as the first time that I watched it, and still as epic as I remembered. Some bits I did forget about because, as I said, I haven't watched this in a while, but overall, very good. I really enjoyed this one a lot, and this wouldn't be the last time that we would see Aquaman. Aquaman would come back in a future episode. But overall, good stuff, very enjoyable and very epic, and really felt like a mini movie. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What did you guys think of The Enemy Below parts 1 and 2? Did you enjoy it? Which part did you like better, part 1 or part 2? And what did you think about the way Aquaman was written? Do you think he was written well? And also, did you like the way they came up with how he lost his hand? And also, what did you think of Deadshot's involvement in attempting to assassinate Aquaman? Do you think he was the right choice, or would you have gone with someone else, maybe another DC villain? You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Justice League review series, where I'll be providing an audio commentary watch along for another favourite episode of mine. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.